Ever wonder how AI is really going to shake things up in like the world of supply chains?
Yeah.
I mean, it's huge EE, right?
Oh, absolutely. And it's only getting bigger.
Yeah. So we're digging into that today. We're looking at Masood Khan's insights. He had some really interesting stuff to say on the Supply Chain Savvy podcast.
Right. I caught that one.
Yeah, and his whole thing is that we can optimize these massive, like global supply chains with what he calls agentic AI.
Yeah. Agentic AI. Catchy, right?
It is. So we're going to break that down into 5 actionable points for our listeners, which I always love.
Always good to walk away with a to-do list, right? But I think even before we get into the nitty-gritty, it's important to step back and just acknowledge how much this is going to impact, well, everything.
Right, because it's not just like tweaking a system here or there. This is like a total overhaul of how we get things done.
Exactly, from point A to point B, the whole journey. Like, we're at this point where we can actually hand over some of those major decisions, the ones that keep CEOs up at night, to AI.
Okay, so that brings us to Khan's first point. Autonomous decision-making, which sounds, I don't know, both amazing and a little intimidating, right?
Right. Like, are we really ready to let the machines call the shots? And I think the answer is we might not have a choice, at least not if we want to stay competitive. But the good news is these machines, they're not making decisions in a vacuum.
Right. It's not some Terminator situation, thankfully.
Right. Exactly. It's all based on data. But here's the kicker. It's about the sheer volume of data these AI systems can handle. We're talking about analyzing mountains of information in real time, weather patterns, traffic conditions, even what's trending on social media. And it uses all of that to make the absolute best call in any given moment.
Okay, so give me an example, because that's a lot to wrap your head around. Like, let's say a huge winter storm is about to hit the East Coast. Could AI anticipate a surge in demand for snow shovels, before the first snowflake even falls?
100%. And that's what makes this different. It's not just reacting to what's already happening, which a lot of systems do now. Agentic AI is anticipating what's going to happen next. Khan actually gives this great example about a company that used AI to predict a spike in demand for, I think it was car parts, in a specific region, and it was all based on analyzing social media posts and local news.
Whoa.
Right. So they were able to stock up in advance and totally avoided any potential delays or lost sales. So it's like having a sixth sense for your supply chain.
That is such a good way to put it. Okay, so if AI can do that, and clearly it can, then this whole idea of demand forecasting, which has always been kind of a guessing game, it's almost like, well, AI could actually make it accurate.
That's exactly what Khan argues with his second point, enhanced demand forecasting. He points out how traditional forecasting models, they're stuck in the past. They rely on historical data, which can be helpful, but it doesn't account for those curveballs life throws at you.
Oh, tell me about it. Like, who could have predicted a global pandemic a few years ago? And look at the havoc that wreaked on supply chains.
Right. Exactly. No one saw that coming. Yeah. But AI has the potential to change that. Imagine a system that scans news reports, social media sentiment, even like economic indicators to identify potential disruptions before they become major issues.
Like, instead of just looking at how many widgets you sold last year, you're factoring in all the things that could impact future demand.
And that's the key. Being proactive, not reactive. Which brings us to the third point, real-time risk management.
Okay, so walk me through that. We've got AI making split-second decisions, predicting demand with spooky accuracy. How does it handle risk in real time?
Think about all the things that can go sideways in a global supply chain. Natural disasters, political unrest, even something as basic as a traffic jam.
Right. Don't even get me started on traffic.
But AI can monitor those weak points constantly, analyze potential risks, and even trigger backup plans. Like it's your digital safety net.
It's like having an army of digital firefighters just standing by, ready to put out any fires before they even start.
Okay, I love that analogy. It really captures the essence of it. Because in today's world, even small disruptions can snowball into huge problems.
We've all seen how fragile these systems can be.
Right, it's all interconnected, so this ability to manage risk proactively is essential. And that actually segues perfectly into Khan's fourth point, which is about process automation.
Okay, so now we're getting into the weeds a little bit. This is the part that always comes up in conversations about AI, right? The robots are taking our jobs.
Right. But it's not that simple. Sure, some jobs will be impacted, but the way Khan sees it, it's more about AI taking over those tedious tasks that none of us really want to be doing anyway.
Okay, so like what kind of tasks are we talking about?
Think data entry, tracking shipments, anything that's rules-based and repetitive. That stuff can be soul-crushing for humans, but AI, It's their jam. And by freeing up human workers from that, it gives them time and mental space for the things we excel at: creativity, problem solving, building relationships.
So it's not about replacing people. It's about using technology to make everyone's jobs more meaningful.
Exactly. And it's about working smarter, not harder. And this leads us to Khan's final point, which he calls dynamic supply chain optimization.
Okay, we've talked about dynamic a lot today, but I'm guessing it's about to take on a whole new meaning, right?
It might. So imagine a supply chain that's not just efficient, but actually intelligent. Like, it's alive, it learns from its mistakes, adapts to new information, and it's constantly tweaking itself to become even better.
Okay, now that sounds amazing, but is that even possible? I mean, what would that look like in practice?
Imagine a company that can automatically adjust shipping routes based on traffic patterns, weather forecasts, even fuel prices, all in real time.
Wow, that's next level.
Right, or a manufacturer that can instantly switch to different suppliers if there's a problem with their usual source. So yeah, this is the big dream. A supply chain that can adapt to anything.
So it's not enough to just implement one or two of these points in isolation. It's about bringing them all together into one seamless system.
Exactly. And when you do that, that's where the real magic happens. That's when you unlock the full potential of agentic AI. And yeah, it's a lot to get your head around. I get it.
It really is?
But it's also incredibly exciting, right? Like, we are on the verge of something truly revolutionary in how we think about and manage supply chains.
Yeah, this could change the game in a really big way.
And while there will be challenges, of course, the benefits are undeniable.
Absolutely. This has been a fascinating deep dive into the world of AI and supply chains. Hopefully something to think about the next time you order something online or see a product on a shelf. Thanks for joining us.